Welcome to the Heart of Florida Business 411 studio. I'm your host, Jane Adams Waters. The Polk County economy is reliant on a strong workforce, and education is key to success. Workers who've invested in their education are workers who arrive better equipped to carry out tasks that require literacy and critical thinking, which provides their company or their agency with higher efficiency. As we focus on economic impact and issues of growth and sustainability on our show here in the studio, we will drill down into today's topic regarding the importance of the investment in human capital through education, and its lasting effects, of course, on community, business, and economic success. In studio with us today to talk about workforce and leadership training and a bit of local business development is expert Sylvia Blackmon Roberts. Welcome, Sylvia.
Thank you, Jane. It's so nice to be with you again.
So Sylvia, Lao Tzu had a terrific quote, and it was, "Give a man a fish and he'll fish for a day. Teach a man to fish and he will eat for life." And how would you relate that to exactly what you just said with regard to business and economy in today's climate?
I love that quote, because the empowering someone to be self-sufficient is really long-term sustainability solution. In terms of for education and the economy, when students come into the campus, many of them already know what they want to do. They feel purpose-driven through their experiences, and we are a Christ-centered university, so a lot of our students are coming in with a servant attitude. So, or an imposter, that's kind of where they're coming from. But when they're here, our mission say we have a divine purpose to develop them for the future. In fact, I just told a group of students that I had the opportunity to talk to that they have to understand, no matter what industry they want to go in, even if it's into the ministry, into the church, that they always have to factor in the economic aspects of that, what that's going to look like, what do that actually mean? Because regardless of what industry you're in, it's a business, and there are rules, regulations, practice, cultures, best practices. There are things there that will impact the sustainability of them providing that service. I think the more we empower anyone with knowledge and understanding, the greater it makes them competitively, informatively, and to be to help them be a better problem solver.
Absolutely, absolutely. And with your focus on workforce and leadership training at Southeastern University, how do you approach that in community?
I really approach it from the first thing that you and I talked about. My job, I get a chance to speak to a lot of the CEOs here in the Polk County community. The great thing about that conversation, most of them know that I'm coming from a business/entrepreneurial background. So they pretty much understand that I understand business model. I understand economics. I understand what they're trying to achieve in terms of profits. So when I have these conversations, the first thing, again, I start is, how could we be a solution? What are you looking for? What's going on in your company? And once they can identify that, then I am the conduit between the community and the university to go back to talk to the deans, to talk to the faculty, the staff, the leadership here, and communicate, are we developing the skills on what's needed? We are mismatch, are we aligning with? And so that's a very fluid conversation. And so it takes you in many, many directions in terms of when I come back and say, okay, I'm not sure how we can be the solution, but let's talk about it here at the university. What can we offer? What we can do? And I will tell you, I found some of the most talented individuals on this campus that I didn't even know existed prior to joining this university.
That is outstanding. And I love that you're going out into community to find what is current, real, relevant in programs that need to be offered or provided. What do you see students enrolling in today that maybe looks a little bit different than what they would have enrolled in let's go just 10 years ago even?
Well, of course, one of the main things, and I actually called a couple of our associate provosts to ask this question because I really weren't sure how we balanced out in terms of with our students. So, of course, in the more modern days, technology has taken on a critical role. Anything in that area has become a demand in the industries of all industries. So certainly we are increasing our presence in that. One of the things that one of the provosts said to me was that a lot of our students, because we are a Christ-centered university, come in already kind of knowing what they feel driven to do in their life. So we are a servant university. So we still have the teachers, we still have the nurses, we're still having ministers even. So we're looking at all of that and what do that look like in terms of curating new content, but not really creating a new industry. So as a part of nursing, it is increased with technology. So there's more simulations and more technology driven instruments being included as a part of the curriculum. So these students are already familiar with that. As teachers are going into the classrooms, here we're putting another area that I'm over is diversity, inclusion, and equity. And so we're talking about what that need to look like in curriculum and how do we be inclusive of that so that when teachers go out, not only do they have all the academia side of things, but they also have that social aspect of it. Because unfortunately, that's a big area that teachers are now having to take responsibility for in order to get to the inroad of developing that student, of supporting that student. May not be their primary role, but in order to get their students all moving, they're doing that. So that becomes in the modern days. So we're not seeing a lot of new, we're not creating at this particular point a lot of new degrees, but we are creating, we have an unrestricted unrestricted education. That's pretty much our online platform. And one of the things we just recently talked about and very excited is that we have put more either certifications or 6 weeks training there to help build skills where different employers may have skill gaps and looking for ways for their current employees to have them or for people to obtain those. We're doing more of those so that people don't have to really go for a full degree, but can amp those skills up in that particular area. A lot of that is the technology piece. We've just started, I understand from Megan, and I want to try to get it correct. And I know she told me it was some coding boot camps because of the need for coding now in the industries.
Yes.
So we're trying to add to that pipeline. Also, one of the things that is new too, Dr. Craig Collins, who a lot of people know from being the former principal of Harrison High School and a long-term educator, has been here at SEU for a while now as one of our deans of the College of Arts and Media. And they've just started an interesting master's level program that is called Masters of Art Design. And so I was thinking that's more of the creativity art, because when you hear art, but it's really centered around creative thinking and problem solving. Again, because there are so many employers that are looking for employees to be able to bring those skills to the table. So they've incorporated, so not a lot of new things, but updating again the content and curriculum so that they are more relevant to what is needed today. And again, that's part of my job, is to just go out and talk to these different industries to find out exactly what they may need to look for.